Hello, my name is Grace Wanura, and this is HorsePro, the channel dedicated to empowering the amateur horse enthusiast and supporting the budding professional. Now today I'm going to talk about a topic that is really terrible. There is no pleasant way to discuss it. There is no optimistic outlook on it. And basically, I'm going to get right to it. It's the hashtag #MeToo syndrome that is affecting or has affected much of our industry. So for anybody who doesn't know the hashtag #MeToo, that is, it was actually coined by Alyssa Milano, and it basically has to do with sexual abuse or power abuse over those who are able to be controlled or in a position of what they think of as weakness in order to achieve their goals. Now, this has come out in the media with many famous celebrities, and the movement has taken off worldwide. And it happens whether it's in the workplace, whether it's in sport, whether it's in theater, whether it's in movies, whether it doesn't matter. The point of it is we're going to discuss hashtag #MeToo and what it has to do with our industry, the horse industry, as a sport, and the horse industry as a means by which people have a passion involved. So they desire something. I do have some notes today, so if I look down, that's why, because it's such an important topic. I don't want to mess this one up. Number one, I'm doing this topic because a very well-respected peer came to me a few days ago, several days ago, and told me a tale of their own involvement in such a situation when they were a working student. They had just turned 18 and they were a working student and they wanted to get ahead in the business. They were propositioned with sexual favors versus getting ahead, even retaining their job. They were very strong and they left and they said, screw you, bud, and off they went. But they did bring up a very interesting point that with horses, because it is a passion, because we all have a drive to get ahead, it's easy to be preyed upon, not because you're naive, but just because the goodness in you doesn't see maybe the sourness that's approaching you. So I am going to talk about two types of predators today. So the first predator might seem more benevolent, and that's the predator who is out for money or funds. I'm going to give you an example of this, and this comes from my own, because when I was approached to do this topic, I thought back and I thought, by golly, that's what that was. When I was about 12, maybe 13, I had a horse and I loved him very, very much. And I wanted to get into the hunter jumper circuit. There was a stable near me and it was so fancy and everybody wanted to be there. And I couldn't be there because I couldn't afford it. My dad, a single dad, worked impossible hours to keep me and the rest of the household running. So anyways, there I was. So, a friend and I, we decided we were going to hire a shipper. We were independent kids anyways. We're going to hire a shipper. We're going to take our horses. We're going to do a lesson. We're going to get this professional assessment. Oh yeah, we thought we were all that. So we did that. We hired it, we went, we rode, and then in turn, this professional invited us into the office and said, oh my gosh, you ride really well, but your horse isn't good enough, but I really see a future for you, and if only you could see your way clear to getting another horse, and maybe there's a way that could be done, and we could help you sell yours and get another one. Anyways, we were both devastated. We went home. I had a few tears that night. I cried into my pillow thinking, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to get rid of my horse and whatever else. What that person didn't bank on was that I actually talked to an adult, not my dad, he was at work, and it was actually somebody who was in horses. And I said, what do you think about this? I mean, because I woke up the next day and I thought, wait a minute, we both had the same story, and part of me was already tweaking to something. So at the end of the day, I decided that if they felt it wasn't going to be a hunter, now notice, I didn't recognize it for what it was. I just thought, okay, they say it's not going to be a great hunter horse. I took him eventing. So I changed gears. I went eventing for a while and I switched gears for a couple of years. And that's what I did until I decided that I was ready to move on. And I did find a wonderful set of eventing coaches that were nothing but positive. So that's the first type of predator. And let me tell you, it's insidious. I was at a show not long ago, and one of my clients, a young girl at the time, said, oh my gosh, so-and-so is so sad. And I saw that young lady moments later, and she had tears in her eyes, and she was friends of my client, but with another trainer. And I said, hey kiddo, how are you? What's going on? I knew her parents weren't there yet, and I knew her parents. Well, she had driven to the horse show with her trainer. And on the way, the trainer had opened a discussion saying how her mount was not quality enough to take her to the finals. And that, if she really wanted to get ahead, it wasn't going to be with that, and she should prepare herself. So, of course, she was in a wrecked state. She rode terribly that day. The mom, no offense at all, because I see where this happens, she really also came from a place of low confidence. So when somebody's saying, your daughter's so talented, but to get ahead, we need to get another horse, and you need to sell the one you have, and you need to do this. She was all for it. And she said, I don't know how I'm going to afford it, but I'm going to do it because it's best for my child. Because she also desired a place in this world if her child got ahead. Now, strangely, that poor young lady did end up selling her mount. The mount went on to another person who did make the finals. She did not make the finals on the new horse they purchased, which was very expensive. She fell off a lot. And amazingly, a year later, maybe more, she quit riding altogether. Now, and I don't know if that was financial, whether this particular instance, just looking back though, I see how insidious that is. And this is not a male-female thing. This is not whether you're a boy, a girl, a man, a woman. This has to do with a predator eyeing up the situation, even if it's subconscious, even if it comes from something in their past, eyeing up a situation to their advantage. Now, the second type of predator is, and I should mention though, that the person that spoke to me originally when I was 12 or 13, just to let you know, ended up being charged and found guilty of sexual assault of minors. So I just want you to know, does the one lead to the other? I don't know, because I can't tell you that from my own experience, but I will tell you with that particular person, they did end up being charged and jailed. So the second type of predator is the overt sexual predator. Now listen, if you are in a situation where you feel even if you feel you're welcoming the attention, even if you feel that it makes you feel special, even if it makes you feel important, even if it makes you feel that there's something about you and it gives you an element of confidence, that is what they're banking on. That's what the sexual predator banks on. They bank on the fact that they can make you see a situation whereby they're doing you a favor. They're doing you a service. So that's I hate to say it, but the more benign type, where they actually make you think that, you're that special, that they're going to pay attention to you. And I don't care whether you're 12, you're 14, you're 16, you're 18, you're 25. A person in authority should not be abusing that authority. And if they're treating you differently, especially if there's any kind of sexual advancement and they're treating you differently to other clients in the barn, give your head a shake. Is this good business? Is this good for you? Even if you feel you welcomed it, Trust me, it is not your fault. It is not your error. They have pushed you. They've segregated you aside to do this. They are trading on the fact that what you desire, and they say they can give it to you, that you will bank one off the other. Now, the second type, the more grievous type in this particular scenario, is somebody who really makes overt. Hey, do you want to keep your job? What if you're a working student? Do you want to keep that roof over your head? Do you want to go to town and buy food? Well, then, hey. Now, that's terrible, but I've heard of these situations. Do you want to keep your job? Do you want to ride the best horses in the barn, or do you want to ride the so-and-sos, the horses that they deem as less worthy? If you want to get ahead, I can get you there. But you need to do this for me, because what's in it for me? So this is often how these things start. And it's a long process. I don't want you thinking that this is a process whereby it's one day. First of all, they have to recognize their target, whether it's financial or for future sexual advances. So usually it's someone who has left home to be a working student, or wants to open their own business, and they're working for you and they're away from their support system. Or it's somebody who's very young, whose parent works a lot, or whose parent is a very trusting person. I'm not placing any blame on any victim, because in this situation, the blame entirely goes to the predator. So I want to make that clear. But it's a very long, drawn out process. They hook you in. They're very charming. A man or woman, they're very charming. They let you see a glimpse of what an exciting future life could be in that industry. Maybe they make you feel special because they give you some insight into other clients. So now you feel like, oh, I'm part of it. I'm really part of it. So they really do that. They seduce you. And the seduction is long and drawn out, and I get that. And we're all, to some degree, malleable, and we can be seduced depending on what it is. At some point, though, you hope that your internal mental subconscious says, hey, wait a minute, this isn't good for me, and your radar goes up and you say, wait a minute, this is not where I want to be at. But the problem is that this type of person often rolls you into this situation, and then sometimes you step over the line, and then you wonder, how can I get back? Well, now what can I do? Now I can't. Maybe I led them on. Maybe I did something, maybe I'm ashamed because I do want it that badly that I was willing to trade something off. At the end of the day, that's okay. That's totally okay. That doesn't matter, right? You're the victim. That predator, and listen closely, predator. I don't care who they are. I don't care what position they hold. I don't care how much money they have. Although I'll tell you, a lot of the largest predators often don't hold that high a position. But I don't care if they hold a hugely high position. I don't care if you think you will never get on a team because they will block you. They are afraid of you. They are afraid of you. Those predators are cowards. Zero self-esteem. They are preying on people's passions, feelings of maybe submissiveness, low self-esteem themselves, or people who are in situations where their support group is gone and they're pretending to be a nice person. They are cowards. Cowards. No one in their right mind, no person of worth wants them. So don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. You are the victim. They are cowards. They are predators. No one wants them. And those that do want them, they probably know what's going on. And I feel that they're a victim too. I feel they probably got there. And hopefully one day they'll be strong enough to remove themselves from that situation, especially if they have children or whatever. But the point of it is wrong. And they know it. Trust me, they know it. It is up to them to cure their illness. It is up to them to admit their guilt. It is up to them to seek help to repair their feelings of low self-esteem, cowardice. Anger, and the go-to state that they like is anger. So they'll often be angry and nice and angry and nice and single you out for special favors. So again, this is a predator. So I want everybody out there, if you're in this situation or you feel you're in this situation, I would not talk to somebody in the industry. That's number one. I hate to say it, I would not. Because a lot of people may say, why rock the boat? Just move, just whatever. That may not help you. You may end up being the person that leaves the industry, even though you want to stay in it, because you didn't say anything. And I'm not saying that you have to make a fuss about it, but tell somebody outside the industry who can help you to heal you. Whether you openly accuse the person, whether you don't, but you yourself just need to feel more sense of empowerment, go talk to somebody. Today, many people don't view this as popular, but again, an unpartisan bystander like a priest, that's somebody that is always there to talk to you. A teacher, a former teacher, another adult in another situation, a parent if you feel close enough to your parents. I know sometimes it's hard because the shame and the guilt that comes with this, even though it's undeserved, can often take us down that path. But I really want you to speak to somebody. I would advise somebody outside the industry so that they have a perspective that isn't based on knowing all the parties involved. I would really welcome everyone to do that. Heck, I don't care. Call me. If you live 500 miles away, call me. I won't know anybody, and I certainly would help you. And so if you're in that situation, I beg you, for your own peace of mind, for your own future well-being. My entire goal as a coach has always been to empower boys and girls, men and women, equally, so that their ability to communicate with a horse, to train a horse, to ride a horse, to lead a horse, to brush a horse, I don't care what it is. My drive has always been to do that so that you would feel greater than, not less than. So anyone out there, any predator out there who thinks that it is okay to prey on somebody by making them feel less than, it's not. You are ill. You need help. You need to go recognize your guilt and change. You need to stop. And those people out there who are being affected by this, again, help yourself. Really, I beg of you. So again, this is Grace Winier for HorsePro. I'm sorry to talk about such a difficult topic today. I thank the peer who came to me. I think it's very important. I'm not out there to win a popularity contest. I'm out there because I like people. I love horses. Actually, I love people. And I want everyone to enjoy horses and get the good out of horses that I feel I have been able to get my entire life. So everyone stay safe. Think about this. Please leave your comments. Please send me questions. Please contact me on HorsePro on Facebook, and also subscribe. If you find anything of value in any of the videos I'm doing, please subscribe.